Hey and welcome. I'm Tom Sinclair, and you are watching Streaming Idiots. If you've tuned in to the wrong show, now's the time to change the channel. But I guess you probably only get here on purpose. Welcome. So glad you're here. For the guys that are watching live in the chat room, glad to have you. It's always a cool time to hang out in the chat room. If you're not watching us live, you're welcome to join us. We're live on Wednesday afternoons, 3 o'clock Eastern, 8 o'clock in London, 5 a.m. Thursday morning in Australia on the East Coast. So that kind of takes it around the world there. Excited about today's show. Got some really cool projects that I want to share with you. Probably what you may remember from the past is that one of my goals is that with one PC, one guy can do one awesome broadcast. And we've been working on that theme for probably, I guess, it was back in July of 2012 when we started our very first show, that VidBlaster Guy. And have been working hard in putting together the whole concept of, one guy, one PC, one awesome broadcast. So let me give you a quick overview today of what we've got going on behind the scenes that produces this show. There is a custom streaming PC that has a second generation Intel i7 processor, the 2600K, standard speed 3.4 megahertz, overclocked. Did I say megahertz? I meant gigahertz. Sorry, megahertz would have been way back. 3.4 gigs is standard on that. It's overclocked a little bit to 4. What is it doing right now? 4.15. And we're getting temperatures in the mid 60s, about what we expected. We are streaming this live. We're using Dacast as our streaming service, D-A-C-A-S-T, Dacast.com. It's a paid service, about $25 a month. And we're streaming 720p on the main feed, if you're watching the main feed. If you're watching us on your cell phone or iPad, something like that. We also have an alternative feed for you, especially if you're using data on your phone or pad. You can click the little link for slow internet iPad, iPhone, Android users, and we have a 180p feed, so it's super low definition, but the audio is still good. So you can see what we're talking about when we show illustrations, and you can watch us on the bus or on the plane or on the train, as some folks do. We're recording 1080p. And we'll upload that later today to YouTube, so folks watching on YouTube can watch us tonight. And anybody that joins us late, of course, or has forgotten to bring their notebook and take notes, they can watch us again later. Today we're going to be talking about, we've got 3 things on the agenda today. We've got a new sale in the store. We'll talk about that in a minute. We've got this prototype device that we've been working on that's Thunderbolt on one end and 4 ports of video capture on the other end. And I'm really excited about that, and we'll get to that too. But let's start out with, let me cue this thing up here. Last week, and I guess maybe, was it last week or the week before? Anyway, we were talking about an alternate camera stand. And we got a boom mic, not a boom mic, but a boom mic stand. This is from Neewer, Neewer. It's called a professional recording microphone stand. And the reason that it qualified for me is that it was the cheapest one I could find. It was like 15 bucks. A lot of them have the XLR cable built into the boom. And I didn't want this because I'm not going to use it for XLR. I'm not going to use it for a mic. I've got one for my mic, and it works great. But let's see. You can see I've got the overhead boom right up here for my microphone. But you can see way over there is the one for the camera. I love it because now I've got a little bit more depth to the shot. But I'm getting ahead of myself a little bit. So anyway, we got that. And we were struggling to attach the camera to this. And so I went out, and do I still have it up here on the desktop? No, I probably filed it away somewhere. And I got a little threaded adapter that allowed me to adapt the microphone microphone thread to the camera thread and put it on there, but realized I couldn't get any tilt, and I couldn't get things quite straight the way I wanted to. So what I did was I got it's called a Wintech CM01, and here's a shot of it. It's the device between the boom arm at the bottom and the camera at the top. It is adjustable, kind of like the oh golly, what do you call them? I've got them here. It's from Targus, I think is what it's called, and it's just a little mini stand. You put the camera on it, and it's got an adjustment so you can move the head all around. Well, this stand is the same way, and so let me zoom in on it for you a little bit. And so you can adjust the angle, you can adjust so you can adjust the pan, you can adjust the tilt, and then with the extension arm, you can move the camera closer or further away as you want to. And this adapter, which you see right there in the middle with the black knob on it, the adapter I think was about $10, and it's by a company called WindTech, WINDTECH, and the model number is C as in Charlie, M as in Michael, Charlie Michael 01. And it adjusts, it adapts the 5/8 thread on the microphone stand to the 1/4 inch that fits into the camera. And it's really cool. I really like having it. The only drawback so far that I can tell is that it's attached to the same desktop that I'm using with my keyboard and my mouse. And so if I touch that desktop, I can see the camera shutter a little bit. And I don't know if you can see let's see if I can make it shutter. Yeah, there it is, shuttering a little bit. I don't know if you can see it shuttering at home. If not, that's great, because that's even better. Otherwise, I won't have to stabilize it anymore. But here, another quick shot of that. And you can just see it screwed into the bottom of the camera and then slips into the threaded adapter on the mic stand. So I've got maybe, including shipping, $30 in this little device. I've wanted to do it for a long time because I thought it would be great to have the floor space back that the tripod was taken out. So I've got this tripod sitting on the other side of the work surface here, and I've got to thread everything around it. And so for a small studio, this is great. Probably will end up with another one at some point, maybe off to the side, doing a shot of the desktop here, so that as we're talking about, here's an over my shoulder shot. So you can see I've got my mixer over here, got the 2 monitors in front of me, and a bunch of other stuff here on the desktop. Anyway, it's fun to play around with that and kind of get everything just the way you like it. Now you could take the same concept and you could adapt it to a fixed location. For example, if you wanted to have a camera just mounted on the wall and you didn't want to go with a boom arm, they make, what do you call it? I guess it's a security camera mount, and it screws into the bottom of the security camera, so you could use that, mount it to a block of wood and hang it on the wall like it was a picture. Don't do it in the living room. Your wife won't like it. Anyway, that's the idea on the camera boom arm. And so that's Neewer, Neewer, professional recording microphone stand. $15. I think it was probably Amazon. They delivered it on a Sunday. Go figure. And then the Wintech CM01. And I think, I don't remember where I got that. I think I got it off of eBay is actually where I got it. And they were anywhere from $10 to $15, depending on who had them and where. But they seem to be pretty readily available. Okay, so that's the fun project that we finished. And if you need more information about that, drop me a note, tom@easternshorebroadcasting.com, and we can sure help you out, point you in the right direction. The other thing that I'm tremendously excited about is a device that we have been prototyping here, and let's just cut to it right here. It is a Thunderbolt conversion. What's the best way to describe it? It's a 4-port video capture device that connects via Thunderbolt. So it's a separate box. Let's see if I've got another shot of it. Yeah, there you go. There's the front of it. It's a separate box, and it has 4 ports. Let's see, where's the 4-port picture? There we go. 4 HDMI, or they could be SDI. And so you see the 4 kind of in the middle and on the left, and then the Thunderbolt with the little Thunderbolt on it there towards the right side. And then it has its own power. It's not powered by Thunderbolt. It needs a little bit of extra power because it's actually got a cooling fan inside of it. It's funny, when we were putting together the prototype, where's the picture? Oh yeah, right here. Nope, that's not the one. Come on, there's the shot right there. I thought, oh my gosh, you know what we've created? We have created the drive-through speaker at McDonald's. Here in the U.S., all the fast food restaurants have drive-throughs, and you can place your order right there. So we've created a drive-through box, but we had to have a way to cool this sucker. Let's see, I think I've got another shot of it here. Yeah, there you go. So it's not very big. 6 7/8 from front to back, 6 7/8 inches. Sorry, probably need to be more specific in centimeters for some of you guys. But anyway, 6 7/8 front to back, 7.5 left to right, and then 1 7/8 high. It probably will end up being 2 inches high because we're going to put rubber feet on the bottom of it. It doesn't have any rubber feet now. This is the actual box itself right here. Not a very clear picture. Sorry about that. For some reason the camera doesn't want to focus. And it's nothing fancy. You know, there are no secret trap doors or anything. Just some ways for the cool air to get in and the hot air to get out. And then with a PCIe Thunderbolt adapter, and then with a 4-port video capture. And my thinking is that this is going to be great for folks that need to be somewhat or totally mobile, where you can take a backpack with a properly equipped laptop, this device, 4 cams, bunch of cables, and you know, between a backpack and a carry-on bag, you've got a 4-camera setup. And I guess you've got to figure out a way to get tripods. But anyway, we're not doing tripods with this one. The idea is that that this device will allow you to be super mobile and to still have high definition, good quality video. Now, 3 weeks ago, actually it was 4 weeks ago and maybe 5 weeks ago, and it was 2 weeks back to back, as we were working with this before we had the design finished, we were actually using it to broadcast 2 of our shows. So if you're watching us on YouTube or watching live and you want to go back into the YouTube archives, you only have to go back 4 or 5 weeks. And you can see that we were using an Asus ROG gamer's laptop. And I've got some model numbers down here. If you're interested, you can look them up. It's the Asus ROG, which is Republic of Gamers. And then it's the G750 JT, JY, or JX, the G751, JT or JY, and the G501, JW. I've got the the G751J, and I don't know what comes after the J, whether it was the T, the Y, or the X. I think it was the X. And it's got the NVIDIA graphics in it, which is what vMix loves. And I think it's rated for 2.5 gigahertz on the processor. But when I was using it to do the show, I noticed that it turboed way up. It turboed up to about 3.5. No, excuse me, 3.4 gigahertz. So almost a whole gigahertz more just in turbo mode, and it stayed in turbo mode the whole show and stayed pretty cool. I mean, it's got a pretty hefty cooling system in it, so it's it's designed for those crazy gamers. I haven't tested it for any longer than maybe an hour at a time. So it could be that after an extended period of time, 4 hours, something like that, I need to test it at that level. 4 hours probably would be a good test. PCI Express Thunderbolt expander. Yes, that's essentially what it is. That's a note in the chat. Other laptops that this will work with will be the HP ZBook, the Quadro, and the MSI W560 Quadro. I also found out just before we started the pre-show, or actually in pre-show, that the Sager, I think it's pronounced Sager, S-A-G-E-R, the Sager NP9390 is Thunderbolt compatible. So basically anything that is Thunderbolt compatible will operate with this as an extension to your PCIe bus. And so you can have 4 ports of 1080p, 30 frame a second video coming into it. Pretty neat, pretty cool. Let's see, what else did I want to say with that? We're going to be bringing it to the market shortly. We're thinking that the price point for the box, and we'll include a Thunderbolt, a 3-foot Thunderbolt cable, but I've tested it with Thunderbolt cables as long as 9 feet or 3 meters. So you can replace it with a longer one if you need it. And it also comes with its own power supply. So that we think is going to market for about $13.99. Now that's more obviously than a capture card, but then there's more functionality to a capture card. And a capture card obviously is not going to fit inside a laptop. I mean, this essentially is a way to put a capture card inside a laptop, a 4-port high definition capture card inside a laptop. I know you can take one of those Magewell dongles that'll plug in USB 3 and have 1 port of HDMI high definition capture, or Magewell has a USB box that will have 2 ports of I guess it's HDMI high definition capture. That's about $1,100. So for a couple of $300 more, you can get 4 ports. I think that's a pretty good deal per port. Yeah. And my other thought was, and I'd love to get some feedback from folks in the chat room and from those of you on YouTube, that we would bundle this with vMix HD. vMix HD generally is $350 retail, but we would bundle this for an extra $300, so it would be $50 off of vMix HD for a total of $16.99. These are not ready to ship, but we are thinking that they will be. I don't know if they'll be ready by Black Friday. Yeah, maybe we'll do a Black Friday sale. We'll do a Black Wednesday sale. How about that? Day before Thanksgiving. So if you're interested in it, let me know, and we'll be happy to send you all the specs on it and all that kind of stuff. And we'll be putting it into our store as well as putting a list of compatible laptops. And you know, there are a few Windows desktop PCs that do have Thunderbolt as an option off of the motherboard. I think Asus has a Thunderbolt-enabled motherboard. I think you still have to add a card to it to get Thunderbolt. So, you know, if you're doing a combination of field work and studio work, and you don't want to invest in two capture devices, if you've got a Thunderbolt-enabled PC in your studio and, of course, a Thunderbolt-enabled laptop, then you can use the one single device in both places, assuming that you don't need it in both places at the same time. So I think there's some really cool applications for it. It's not for everybody, obviously. You know, I had to go out and buy a laptop specifically that had Thunderbolt in it. I was pretty fortunate, though. I think I found it. It was a remanufactured unit. Where did I get that? Was it eBay or Amazon? I mean, it was one of those kind of places where I bought it from a manufacturer's refurb reseller. But it was I guess new. It was probably a $2,000 laptop. I got it for $1,100, which I thought was a pretty good deal. And you know, it allowed me to have a Thunderbolt test base, basically. It's a beast, though. It's big. It's heavy. It's a 17-inch monitor, so it would be great for a remote location because you have plenty of desktop real estate. And, of course, with something like the AOC USB monitor, then you've got a second monitor. So this is a good option there, too. There's always there's always some cool stuff out there that you can use to expand your capabilities. So I commend that to you. That is our, I think we're going to call it, oh, I've got a graphic of it. Let's see if I can find it. That's the problem with all this stuff. Oh yeah, there it is. It is, we're going to call it the BOLT4. The BOLT4 video capture device or something like that. We're not we're not sure yet whether we're going to use the numeral 4 or the word 4 as we work with it, but that's the work. And that was one of those $5 logos from Fiverr. So FIVERR.com. And that was pretty good. I'll show it to you again. Not bad for $5. I like that. So we'll work with that at least to start with. And we don't want to spend all our money on logos. We want to put the money into the card, into the box. So I commend to you the BOLT4. Let's see. Camera boom arm, BOLT4. Oh yeah, vMix. We have got, oh, you're going to love it. If you've been meaning to buy vMix, then now's a great time because we've got the vMix HD edition on sale, 10% off. There is a coupon that you have to use, and if you go to the website, easternshorebroadcasting.com website, in the top right-hand corner, you can see there's the vMix logo, and the vMix promo code is vMixHD10, and you can just click on the link and go there, or you can just write down the word vMix and the letters H and D and the numerals 1 and 0, and you now have the code. vMix10 will get you 10% off on vMix it's vMix HD10 gets you 10% off on vMix HD from our website. And we've had, we kind of inched this out a little bit this week. I think we started it yesterday and have had a couple of folks pick up on it already, so that's great. And we're glad, and we're glad that you thought it was worthwhile. So that's basically it on the show, folks. We got that really well, and I'll show you one more time because I really love this thing. We've got that super camera deal. It's the WindTech CM01 adjustable microphone to camera base adapter, along with the newer NEEWER professional recording microphone stand. And I think these are like available on Amazon or eBay. And so I'm not promoting them for my benefit, just because I thought it was cool and I thought you would enjoy it. And then we also have, which I am promoting for my benefit, the BOLT4, which I think is going to be really fun and a neat niche product for those of you that need to have something like that. And then, of course, the vMix HD 10% off deal that will be going on until November 30th, I think is what it is. Yeah, 11/30/15. So that's the show. That's the show. Oh, and I know what else. Oh, golly, I almost forgot this. We have got coming up some guests. We've been trying to get some guests that could commit to joining us. And let me find my guest list here just a second. Guest list. And I want to tell you who the guests are. Most of them know that they've been invited. and some of them, like Al Bunt at Good Shepherd Lutheran Church. Al's promised to come back on the show, and we got to get him back on the show because we want to see. He's got this beast PC that he's built for the church up there, and he's got a zillion cameras in now, and so we want to get back in and get an update from him. We've got Kate Koch-Gatch from Magewell, who's going to come in on the show, probably going to be January. She's really tied up between now and then. But to come in and talk about Magewell and all the second-generation capture cards that Magewell has developed. Tracy Goodwin, you remember Tracy, she's the red sweater lady. She's the one that helps you present better to do your oral presentation. She's going to come on and tell me all the things I'm doing wrong again. And then Stephen Haywood with the Tech Buzz is going to come on as soon as we can get a date with him. Probably will be a special evening show, so that'll be a lot of fun. Paul Richards from PTZ Optics has been invited. Haven't gotten a confirmation yet, but that's the cool line of point tilt zoom cameras that we've just recently put in. And then my good buddy Justin Stellman from Extreme Health Radio. We're going to try to twist his arm and convince him to come on the show. It probably will be after the first of the year, but Justin has got an interesting background. Forget about the subject matter for just a second. He's been essentially a podcaster using internet radio for his business for years and is making the jump to video. And I think a lot of the radio kind of podcasters are going to be doing the same thing. And so Justin might be a good model for folks that are thinking about making that kind of switch. So I'll make sure you get plenty of notice about that. So that's Alan Bunt, Kate Koch-Gatch with Magewell, Tracy Goodwin, the red sweater lady, Stephen Haywood, the Tech Buzz guy, Paul Richards from PTZ Optics, and Justin Stellman with Extreme Health Radio due up here on Streaming Idiots, if they dare. If they dare. Sometime between now and, probably February, we'll try to get some of those guys on this fall and some on after the first of the year. So let me just make sure, check the list here, see if there's anything that I have neglected to tell you. I don't want to, I've also got in my notes that where is it? The capture box, it weighs 2 pounds. So I would be negligent if I didn't tell you all that. I don't know why I've got that in the notes. Anyway, if you've made it this far and you're watching us on YouTube, you may as well subscribe. If you've turned us off, then obviously you haven't gotten to this point. But if you've made it this far in the program, go ahead and subscribe to the show. That way, when we post a new video, you'll get a little notice either on YouTube or maybe an email, depending on how you set it up, so you'll know that we're doing something. I don't know that I would say cool, but at least something stupid, idiotic maybe, and that you might learn from. Learn from my mistakes for sure. For those of you guys that hung out in the chat and are watching us live, thank you. And Kent has brought these little fruity hors d'oeuvres that we're going to share virtually after the show. So thank you, Kent, for that. I'm Tom Sinclair. I am obviously the streaming idiot, and it's been a real treat to be with you this week. And I look forward to seeing you on next week's show. Take care. Bye-bye.